Hi guys, I'm the Wiki Explorer, and today I've got a very interesting article to share with you. So there's a rapper named Akon who was very famous in the early 2000s, and he had a couple of famous singles. I'll go ahead and show you them.
Possibly been you over. Look back and watch me smack that all on the floor. Smack that.
And then he's got another one called Lonely.
Mr. Lonely, I have nobody.
So this one's pretty popular on like TikTok or any of these social medias that allow you to share audio. If you've seen those before, that's by the rapper Akon, and his famous songs were released in 2005 and 2006. But anyway, Akon was an ambitious guy, and he's from Senegal. He's Senegalese and American, and he decided to create a city in Senegal. So he's, I guess, a pretty patriotic guy for Senegal. And he watched the movie Black Panther, and Black Panther has a super futuristic city full of Africans that's called Wakanda, and Wakanda is pretty cool. Like, if you ever watch the movie, you're like, wow, that was a really cool movie. Chadwick was a great actor in that movie. I really loved it, but so did Akon. And Akon took it a step further. He decided to make his real life Wakanda, and he named it after himself. Very humble. Well done. Great job. The way Akon City is going to be futuristic like Wakanda is that they're going to include blockchain and cryptocurrency. I'm assuming that means in terms of economy. So if we look through, Akon announced a coin, a cryptocurrency that I guess is going to be the currency of Akon City. So that's pretty funny. Not only is he making a city named after himself, but he's also making the coin called a coin. So if we take a look here, Akon City is founded by Akon creatively, and the Senegalese government fiscally. That means Akon thought of this, and the Senegalese government funded this. I have no idea how a rapper managed to convince an entire African government to give him $6 billion without any realty experience, without any city management experience, without any industrial planning. He's just like, I'm just gonna create a city. It's gonna be the best city ever after Wakanda, and let's go, give me $6 billion. And the Senegalese government was like, heck yeah. So you can probably imagine how this ended up turning out. I'll give you a hint, it wasn't great. The planned city would feature condominiums, offices, parks, a university, an ocean resort, and a 5,000 bed hospital. That's a lot of beds. The city's intended to attract tourists and investors. I know I would visit there if I saw it, and maybe Akon's music was playing in the background. Smack that, 1, 2, flow, smack that, as I'm laying in the hospital or something. He also told media in 2020 that he planned to retire there, which is pretty funny because as of 2020, not a single building had been completed or anything had been done. So that's pretty crazy. The city would replace a small village where 1,500 people currently live. Those people are displaced by the city, and the city would replace their farmland and their village. Another Akon City was announced in Uganda. So this is before any construction was done, but this is legit. This is not a joke. Like, this is very serious. Like, Akon, along with the state minister for housing and urban development and the Ugandan president, discussed a 15-year development plan and its benefits to Ugandans on national Ugandan news. Like, this guy is being so serious. This is the second Akon City. Crazy. In 2021, a journalist visited the site, and apart from a foundation stone laid in a ceremony in 2020, found no signs of construction. Akon kind of coped to the BBC by saying it wasn't being managed properly. I take full responsibility for that. This is the man right here who is saying that, Akon. He looks quite sharp in that suit, but man, I do not know if he knows a thing about creating a city. So unfortunately, if we look here, the Senegalese National Tourism and Coastal Development Entity issued to Akon an ultimatum to actually start the project 6 years later after it was promised, or return 90% of the land the government granted to him. To me, that's pretty crazy, because not only did the Senegalese government fund the project, which was a $6 billion project, but they also gave him all the land. And they're not asking for $6 billion back or all the land back. Nope, just a measly, give us back 90% of the land. Like, this guy straight up scammed the government, and they're just like, please start your project, please. It's pretty crazy. And unfortunately, the city's economy, which was planning to be dependent on a coin, is reliant on a coin. And a coin launched at 15 cents per coin, and just 2 years later to less than a cent in August 2024. That is quite unfortunate, quite a pump and dump. Not surprising, but very unfortunate. Local residents who sacrificed their own land for the project have yet to be compensated. I'm sorry to laugh about that. That's actually really terrible for the people who live in present-day Akon City. And the fact that their land was taken from them by a billionaire to build a city that never ended up happening is actually quite sad. And if anyone's watching, who is from the area where Akon City was supposed to be built. I'm very sorry. In 2025, the project was officially abandoned, with Akon stating he would instead pursue more realistic projects and opportunities, like maybe scamming a government of less than $6 billion. So here we can see that it was a smart city, mixed-use development, a LEED certified project. Like, this guy legitimately just like dreamed up something, thought it would be a good idea. The government agreed, and just they did nothing with it. It's actually crazy. The Akon cryptocurrency began trading at 0.23 Great British pounds, and 1 year later was worth 1 cent. He raised funds for the project by selling tokens of appreciation, TOA. So he didn't even give people a legitimate cryptocurrency. He gave a promise of a cryptocurrency via a token. And the campaign, each $1 donated would convert to up to 4 tokens of appreciation, which would later convert to Acoin. A year after the offer was made, no refunds have been issued. So the people who got tokens of appreciation never even got their Acoins. So they completely got scammed. Actually insane. And it doesn't end there. A lawsuit has been brought against Acoin in the United States for almost $4 million borrowed as part of the implementation of the futuristic city project. His lawyer team claimed they are innuendo and speculation. I don't know how speculating that a city didn't get built is possible, but it happened. In April 2022, it settled for $850,000. Borrow $4 million, settle for $850. That's like $3.2 million profit. Hey, that's pretty good. Good work, Akon. Also, challenges pertaining to land rights, specifically instances where citizens who were previous landowners entitled to compensation from the Senegalese government, some remain unpaid and uncompensated. That's very sad. I'm sure those people's lives were ruined, but at least Akon's $6 billion richer now. And Akon took the high road on this situation, like a true Chad, and has not announced or spoken in public anything about Akon City since 2022. Akon City has made little to no progress, and none of the promised architecture has been built. The only thing built was the Akon City Welcome Center. So there's just one building there. That's pretty. I don't even know how to feel about that. That's just sad. So let's take a look through the references. Akon to build a second futuristic city in Uganda. So, yep, I guess that just makes sense. Rapper turned business mogul. I would imagine rapper turned scam artist is probably a better title for him. All right, let's keep looking through here. Akon accused of running Ponzi schemes. I feel like that's pretty accurate. Let's look through this article real quick. $6 billion plan to turn a Senegal village into a city that operates off of his own cryptocurrency, a coin. Many of the trademark characteristics, red flags of fraudulent business ventures, such as Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes. Yeah, shocking. No transparency about who is investing in Akon City or how it will be purportedly built. Akon City is likely a scam. Akon is also in debt with the IRS, who claims the rapper owes the government $6 million in taxes. So this Chad not only is scamming African governments, but he also is not paying his taxes. The IRS placed liens on his real estate, so no longer he has a city in Akon or a home in the US. The rapper recently boasted that he was getting paid with trash bags full of money for his shows in Africa. However, it does not appear to be using the African cash to repay his debts to the IRS, and he is certainly not using this cash to fulfill his contractual debts to plaintiffs, which are the subjects of this lawsuit. Now that is a crazy article. Thank you so much for going through this Wikipedia article exposing a rapper stealing $6 billion from an African government. And I can't wait to see you in the next video where we explore a new Wikipedia topic. Thanks for watching.